Hey everyone, Ashley Mailloux here, taking a look at the Tuesday race of the day here at the Daily Racing Forum. We'll go out to Assiniboia Downs as we always do on Tuesdays, and we will focus in on their stakes race on the program. It's race number 3. It's for the 2-year-olds. It's the Winnipeg Futurity at the 6 furlong distance. It's kind of an interesting group. It's a field of 7, and the morning line suggests that the rail runner in here, the number 1, Mighty Mikey's the horse to beat. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the case, or maybe we should say Mighty Mickey in here, but I think there are other horses that I find really interesting. That includes the 2, Marking Broadway, as well as the number 4, We Can Only Imagine, who's 5-1 on the morning line. We will take a look, though, at the time form pace projection for this field. And this is where I think the 4 is really intriguing. We Can Only Imagine was able to win all 3 of her career starts and was able to do it last time out very impressively at Century Mile, and she went extremely quick and ended up drawing clear by 5 1/4. So maybe it raises questions what was behind her, but still, she was very, very quicker than her races out at Assiniboia, and I do think she'll be part of the pace. The 3, Tap the Parlay, likely to be in the mix as well. And with this in mind, I have to agree. I do think the pace in here is going to be a little bit quicker than some of these 2-year-olds have seen in their other career starts. And look at all the way at the back, the number 7, Neytiri. Big price on the morning line. She has the LP flag, the late pace flag. So the quicker they go, the better off she could be in the late stages of this race. We will kick it off, though, with the number 1 on the rail, a Son of My Tolly for Devin Gittins, who does have this one cross-entered in another spot on Wednesday out at Assiniboia Downs, so it looks like they'll decide what to do. One who, just like others in here, he's done very little wrong. He was able to win his first 2 career starts by a combined 14.5 lengths, and then last time out, he just came up a little bit short. I thought it was a good effort. He had to work for it a little bit more. He is also getting a little bit more tested in that race in terms of some of his competitors, a lot of which he'll have to face again in here. So we'll see what he does. I do think in terms of the pace, he's another one. He's going to be somewhat forward and could be adding to what could be a lively pace early on. The number 2, Marking Broadway, we'll take a look at that most recent performance. That was in the Osiris, and that's the race that the 1 exits, as well as the number 3, Tap the Parlay, and actually the 4th place finisher, Omaha Warrior. So 4 out of the 5 exit the Osiris, and in terms of who gets it done, it is the number 2, I should say, in this field, but Marking Broadway, who ends up being the number 5 here as we take a look at the deep stretch run here, and ends up being 5-1 in terms of the order of finish. And I think the pace early wasn't necessarily all that quick, but quick enough for a horse like Marking Broadway to be able to close late. And I think that's going to be key here. I think in terms of the pace scenario, I think they're going to be going quick early on. And knowing that Marking Broadway showed he's comfortable stalking early, I think that's very key, puts him in the perfect spot. And now he's going to stretch out a little bit from 5 to 5.5 to 6. I think that only helps his chances. So he is 3-1 on the morning line. The number 3, Tap the Parlay, was the pace setter in the Osiris and just sort of gave way in those final stages. I think in terms of a second career start, didn't do a whole lot wrong, had to get a little bit of additional ground, stretching out a 16th of a mile and just came up 3rd best. I think the concern is he has to face the top 2 again. He's probably going to be pressured in here, and based on his debut, he made the lead easily and he was able to draw clear. So I personally wouldn't take too short of a price on him, but maybe a horse to use at least underneath. The number 4, We Can Only Imagine. We'll take a look at her most recent performance, where she's going to have to tackle the boys this upcoming Tuesday. But at Century Mile against the girls, she went really quick. She was going an additional 1/8 of a mile, 21-3, 44-2, 47-2, and then finally went 1:11 here for the 6 furlong distance. And I know she's, still responding here to some right-handed encouragement, but she ends up drawing clear by 5 1/4. Her narrowest win margin so far has been 1 1/4, 2 starts back. That was at Assiniboia in the debutante. She was able to defeat Neytiri on that day. She was able to defeat Neytiri on debut. Yes, she has to tackle the boys, but very curious to see how she'll affect this race early in terms of the pace, knowing that she did go quite quick at Century Mile, and if she's able to do the same thing out at Assiniboia. She's a bigger price in the morning line. She's 5-1, making her the 4th choice. The number 5, Artful Diamond. This one for Tiffany Husbands. Just 1 start under her belt. That was at Assiniboia. She finished 3rd. And just, 3rd best in there. The winner, she'll have to tackle again, who was able to draw clear by 9 lengths. I think for her, she would really need a big boost in here, just knowing that she was defeated by 10.5 in that debut race, but not to say that she couldn't do it just with having that race under her belt. She's 40-1 here on the morning line. The number 6 Omaha Warrior we saw was 4th in the Osiris, and a horse that, I thought took a step forward in the second career start and last time out. Just didn't really have as much as the others. But I think the key with this colt is he is going to get Lasix for the first time. And we always know that can help horses. It might allow him to take a little bit of a step forward here. And curious to see the trip. I think they tried different tactics last time out, had him sit a little further off of it, where in his first 2 career starts, he was more forward. Could see him trying to be more forward, but at the same time, maybe the thought process will be this race will go quicker and he'll actually be able to close. So there is a ton of speed sign on, and maybe they'll opt to try to sit one more time from off the pace. And then finally, the number 7, Neytiri, no doubt about it. This filly is going to be rolling from off of it. She's tried that in every single start, and last time out, she was finally able to graduate. And her prior races, they were all fine. I thought, second on debut behind We Can Only Imagine. She had to unfortunately face her again in the debutante where she was second best. But finally in her 4th career start, she got the, the right trip. And in terms of rolling from off of it, could kind of say she got some pace help. She really didn't, though. They went very slow in that event, and she was just much the best. So I'm curious to see how she will be played in here. I do think if the pace is going to be quick, she's the true closer in this field. And so at 12-1 on the morning line, she should offer some value and get the right flow in here. But we'll see if the speed ends up coming back to the rest of the field. It'll be interesting to see how this race plays out. So a field of 7 for the Winnipeg Futurity, the Tuesday race of the day here at the DRF, which means free past performances on the website. We'll take a look at top selections, and pretty sure I showed my poker face right away. I don't have a good one. The 2 Marking Broadway, I think, is the logical sort of top horse in here for a couple of reasons. If you think the pace is going to be quick, Marking Broadway showed that this one can stalk just off of it and make one late run. And we saw that in the replay of the Osiris. I'm kind of banking on the fact that I think he can do that again. He's going to get the right trip, and we'll see. I have a feeling he's going to potentially take some money in here, and I don't know if he'll necessarily go off favored, but definitely will at least have to be second choice in here. I'll use the filly, one of the fillies underneath, the number 4, We Can Only Imagine. I think she was very quick last time, and she could obviously be charging from the gate and maybe stick around for a share. Then I'll use the 1 and the 3 underneath. So using a lot of the logicals, but do use the second choice on the morning line, the number 2, Marking Broadway, as the top pick. 2, 4, 1, 3 for me. Very curious to see who you like in the Winnipeg Futurity. Leave comments below. And if you're wagering, as always, good luck.